And there we go. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are we doing this week? And welcome to Getting Down with Dave. See? Oh, and I got to do the volume as well, as I have to do each week. And so we're getting close to the end there. Welcome, everybody, and say hello to my very special guest, JT Kirk.
Hey, good evening. Hello to chat as well. I'm getting a little bit of sound off your other PC there, Dave.
Yep. Took care of it. As soon as it goes live, then I can't actually mute it until it goes live. Isn't that weird?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I have to wait for it, and then when I go live, then I got to go back and do that on both sides. Yeah,
Right.
So JT, we're getting close to the end here, man. Only 3 more left.
That's right.
Yep. And who's here with us? We got Gap, who's lurking tonight. Thank you as always. And so let you know that Gap, we're going to skip next week, right, JT?
Yes, we are. It is one, I have work, but 2, it is Thanksgiving Eve. We know a lot of people are traveling at that time, right?
Yeah, so we'll do a cliffhanger for the last issue.
Right.
Exactly. And then maybe we'll put something together for Battlestar Galactica for that night. We'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So the issues have gotten a lot better. Gradually have gotten better than some
last
of the things
2
that we've
weeks.
dealt with.
Yeah.
I noticed that in some of the letters, nothing too major in the Battlestar bullpens this week that I didn't catch anything too major. Some people were actually being nicer, giving some compliments to I think it was 18. So there's 3, not quite 3. So they must have got 18 in pretty quick, because this is 21 this week and 22. And then we will do 23 in 2 weeks, so everybody can enjoy their Thanksgiving. I don't think I have any plans. I might come on and do something, but it won't be the comic. So we'll see how that goes. And I've got this pretty much preset. Is it working for you?
Yeah, and we agreed we weren't going to do 3 on you in one night, because we'd be here quite a long time, and the end of the run deserves a little bit of TLC, right?
Yes, we've been rough on it a few times, but deservedly so most of the time, right?
Right.
With only 3 left, I can say I really do like the whole series before we get to the last one, because that's going to be 2 weeks away. And I this is fun, I mean, we'll see what we do tonight. I have some comments, as I'm sure as you do.
Yep.
So let's get right on into it. Oh my gosh, Lady V is here, JT.
Hey, Lady V. Good to see you.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, hail to Lady V. She's a Fortnite. Did you know that? You need to.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah, Lady V, if you're still listening, if you're Fortniting and I've played with her once or twice, but I've been doing like reload on that and stuff like that. So I saw her playing the other night. So if on Friday night with Mark D, I'm sure she's aware that we play. Or you guys do. I don't make it every week, but if you see her, Lady, throw a friend out there to JT or Mark or somebody. She probably already is friended with Mark, but there you go. So let's get on into this one, man. We've got another red alien thing. So I don't know what the choices are here for covers, that they went back to another red alien, right? Could have made it blue or something.
Well, they only had how many colors? That's my only thing about it, right?
Yeah.
When you did that show with Hungry back in the day, he was like, yeah, they kind of, the printer only has, 12 colors, 16 colors, something like that, right?
Yeah, they're very limited in their color scheme. But that's also why it was really important to be good with it. And we've seen it all over the board here since issue 1, right? From great to absolutely terrible. But the cover in itself isn't bad. I mean, I like it. I mean, it's got a monster. They're shooting at it. They're, and Apollo's Most Desperate Adventure. So as always, they pretty much tell you what's on the cover is gonna happen, right? You know
Right.
that this is they don't really deviate from the covers that much. We've only seen them do too much, actually. So this one, scrolling down, this one was pretty plain and basic, and I like it for what it is, right?
Right.
The monster being red, I was like, oh, come on, man, you got to come up with something. We just had that too, a double feature, right? With the red guys.
Purple monster even would be enough of a difference, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
where I'm going with that. It just you're right. Red is a little bit tiresome again if you're one of those folks that's religiously reading this every month.
Yeah. I think other than a few of the fans that we've read in the bullpens that were really, really mad at the editors, right? Especially that one guy who's just way overboard. I think people would stick with it because I might skip the bullpens this week. Not much going on, but some nice letters. A few nice ones. At least I think it was this issue as well. Sorry for the scrolling. It's not as wide, JT, on the YouTube side as I would like it to be.
I see.
And it doesn't really matter because it only gives me more border. So you can see that there, right? So for some reason, the last couple of weeks, this hasn't been very good for me. I guess I could make it bigger, but I'm not really going to mess with it. Are you okay with it on this side? I mean, the size?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've got my own copy pulled up as well.
Okay. All right. So we're good to go. Well, the tin cans are back, right? We needed those. So they've been gone for a while. You right? And we've got lots of pew pew action. And as you noticed,
where's Dad Man when you need him with all the pew pew?
Yeah, he would do this.
I know where he is. He's doing stuff tonight. I know, but it's a joke because he's always talking about the pew pew. So but, our friends know that anyway. So if they've ever listened to him for any length of time, let's see. So A World for the Killing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why did they put that in there? I wouldn't understand. Well, reading the last episode just a week ago, I still remember enough. All they had were the Cylons rushing in on them. I don't know why they would put that big block of text right there.
Yeah, right there. I don't know because it's right over the action. The placement is weird. The action's great. You got Cylons, you got Viper pilots flying around, doing all this stuff. And as again, we mentioned that it says 30 minutes now, right? They got rid of the Battlestar Galactica time frames and went to modern day Earth people stuff. I don't like it, to be honest with you. They could have just kept continuity. I don't like it. It was really late in the game that they did that. I guess they must have got some complaints or somebody in the higher up decided they actually wrote a letter about that or something. They explained that they wanted to do that, but it was very prevalent here because they did some kind of countdown right there, like 5 times with 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10.
The next one here is 2 pages together because the story reads left to right across the seam. And I think you can kind of see the seam between Starbuck and Boomer there, vertically going up and down. There's a little bit of a color shift, probably by how all of that ended up.
Yeah. So they're out on patrol. It's Boomer, Starbuck, Athena is out there with them. I can't remember if Apollo's there, but there's a lot going on in the small thing. But I like the art here. They seem to do really well with the head shots when it comes to putting the Viper pilot helmets on. For some reason, I don't know why, but they do. And we get a good shot of Galactica here, at least for such a small panel. You get a good space and distance shot with the Vipers coming in this last one. And then they come into the landing port, right? What do you think about that Galactica shot?
I give it a B+. in grading on a curve compared to the rest of the Galactica shots that we've had in the previous 20 issues, which honestly is a low bar, people.
Yeah,
If you
very low bar.
haven't been
Very low
following us,
bar.
that's a very low bar to clear. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't mess with the fundamental shape of the ship. We're not getting the spade head version of the Galactica. They actually drew some detail into the ship.
Yeah.
We do see some weird stuff here on the aft of the ship that almost look like domes of some sort that we don't normally get to see in other versions of the ship, and I don't know what they're meant for. But I'm not going to stare at it too closely because this is a high action couple of pages here. Not too much story wise to talk about other than it's just a battle, so you kind of have to read through it on your own. And this is kind of what I like in sometimes in comic books is you get to fill the action in your head. And I know people don't read anymore, so they're not very good at doing that. But back in the 90s, I would prolifically just read like a Star Trek novel a week, kind of a thing, or maybe even less. And those Star Trek novels, or even the like Timothy Zahn type stuff for Star Wars novels too, you have to fill all of those action scenes in your head based on what it says on the page. So you build up an imagination. Exactly. Right. And so it leaves you just enough to know what's going on and lets your imagination go. And to me, that's a fun comic when it does that. So
yeah, definitely. And you get a lot of action here in this. I'm like, but did you notice something weird here? And I didn't catch on to this at first. It's top panel here to the left, that Viper, what they did there. I didn't quite notice it because the red and stuff was really distracting. You know, I was looking at the overall picture, but they do tell you that someone goes missing at the last. They're just gone, and they don't even realize it.
I thought he was hitting the top of the landing bay.
No,
I thought he was hitting the ceiling. Okay, he went transparent. Yeah,
it's a continuity error. I'm nitpicking, but again, when I read it fairly quickly earlier today, I didn't even quite notice that. But they do tell you that as one of their number becomes transparent here, what happens later on when they discover how that happened doesn't match with it. I mean, you can make arguments about it. It's a little bit nitpicky. It's just a continuity type of thing.
Now, if you'd like to continue to nitpick with continuity, this Viper is totally out of proportion.
Yeah, and there's no markings. There's no red on the fins.
Yeah,
you know, the detail is lacking.
Completely out of proportion.
Yeah. Well, we've discussed that they've been pretty bad with that, with the Jolly, the big Dr. Enoch being about 350, 400-pound 8-man, right? Just squeezing in. They weren't, and those are nitpicky type of things, but those are the things that fans look at too. Because there we go with the ads. I had a feeling. Sorry about that, everyone. They were giving me a little bit trouble on the pregame.
You don't need a protractor to figure out that these things are off, and that's when you need to fix it. We're not getting an electron microscope out here to see it, you know, to see if you've done the proportions that well on a make-believe ship, but your eye just gets thrown off, and that's when it needs to be fixed.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Another thing that was kind of weird. You've got both Adama and Ty, which we've figured out. This is something they've done throughout the course of this comic. I think we probably stick to this kind of talking about it too, because we're only going to have one left in 2 weeks. So their time and spacing while they're on the ship is so weird, right? People just show up all the way across the whole thing. Both of these guys wouldn't be down here at the same time for something like this because there's nobody It's just a regular. There was a battle, okay, but you know what I mean. You being military as well, there's no reason for both of these guys just to show up to say hello, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Hey guys, how's it going? Where's Athena at? Nobody knows, but they know. You know what I mean? It's a little weird. It's just a little. It's just being from military type stuff. This
father or not, you wouldn't just saunter on down
with your second in command as well.
No one's on the bridge. Yeah.
Well, no, Athena's not on the bridge. She's gone. She's missing. Your golly, Admiral Adama, whatever he is now. I still can't get it right because there's something else they do with ranking that they totally messed up with continuity again in this issue, I think. And then you've got your EXO there too. So just a little weird that he has to point it out. And then Apollo's like, wait, she was just with us. So you're like, oh, okay. Because he wouldn't just not notice somebody missing. So they're sticking with the fact that she disappeared right after she came in, right? She's already in the landing bay. Adama, I give them a good A+ for when they do the art right. They get some of the emotions. They've done that very well on certain times. You get the feel of emotion. Adama's like, oh, she's gone. She got lured into a trap. You know, the hand on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Those little things like that. So they have the witherall, if that's correct, right? To do things like that, but not so many other things that would have been easy for them to do, right?
Yeah.
So they're smart enough to do these kind of things, but not a lot of other easy things. It's so weird. What do you think about that kind of?
Oh, I agree. I just also wanted to point out, I don't know what's going on with Colonel Ty's hair here, but it is pretty darn funny up in the dialogue box a little bit higher.
Yeah.
It's doing something we've never seen before.
Yeah, and the shading on his face there, it's kind of unnecessary. There's no reason for it, right? They love to do that. But if you look over here to the left, Apollo has no face or anything at all. They just left it blank. So
yes,
we do nitpick, but if you look at Apollo's hand right here, it's really good, right? You got the fingernails, you've got the knuckles. And so when they want to do things that we said we might be nitpicking because they didn't have the time or the money or they just weren't that good, it's not really true. It's almost like they just pick and choose sometimes on how well they want to do things, right? And they do have the time. It's just like, screw it. And I'm not talking about because they don't have time. They just don't want to. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, they're talking about what's happening. They're going to try to find her. They have no idea. And Athena is all of a sudden on this planet. But here's the trick, everybody. You got to remember, they're still over Savage Jungle World because they were doing the fruit thing. Remember, JT?
Yep.
They were harvesting fruit. And again, they don't talk about the people that are on there, the same people that were actually human people. They don't do it again. That kind of irritated me. I thought maybe they would redeem themselves here, but they don't. I'm going a little forward, but just, because they don't mention it at all, might as well mention it.
A nice touch with a seven-winged bee or bird, whatever that is.
A hummingbird bee.
7 wings on that. Now I'm getting hungry, but
yes, Gap, we do nitpick at times. We try not to too much, right? So Athena is down on this planet. She has no idea what's going on.
Finally, we get a green planet that's not a jungle.
Yeah, nice, pretty. You got some nice trees. You got some nice flowers, blue sky. You got birds in the background, a little mountain back there. Something nice, Earth-like, dare I say, right?
Yep.
She's kind of chilling. She's too
scared to even take her helmet off, which good idea.
Yes.
Finally, you pretty much ended the whole plot of what was that, Alien Prometheus or whatever. You've
Yeah.
pretty much killed that plot right off at the knees by leaving your helmet on. So
Yeah. And she's being a security conscience, something we've always picked on for this run, because they've been really bad about being security conscious for the most part. So she's actually using some common sense here. She's like, well, let me just kind of chill. I have no idea what's going on. And she sees now it's kind of a purple monster, fuchsia. What would you guys say? Is that fuchsia?
well, you're asking me about colors? Come on now. I know like
Seven
4
wands.
colors. So
Yeah, lady.
you're not gonna get it out of me.
Right, right.
Thank the council it didn't see me.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but okay.
Weird rhetoric.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that's kind of a throwback to how they would talk, though. You know, they say things like that sometimes, but it hasn't been for these characters, Athena and stuff like that. They never talk like that.
So, question here on this one here. No, just go up a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
He's entering a virtual palace. Now, does she mean it's virtually a palace because it's so large, or a virtual palace because everything is disappearing and reappearing and doing funny things?
Well, that's a faux pas on the writers, because unless they made a joke for themselves, you know, like they high
Maybe they
five
did.
themselves, because you know what I mean. Like it's a funny inside joke, because she wouldn't know. This is real for her. She doesn't know these things just quite yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's watching this thing walk into a virtual palace. She might have said literal, maybe. So I think it's an inside joke. Maybe they planned on us, reviewing these 40 some years later and see if we catch on.
Hey, Dad, man, you just missed some of the pew pew a little bit ago, but
hey.
Great to see you drop by. Hope everything's going well for you.
Hey, Dad, man, how's it going, man? Yep. Lady V's here and Gap's here as well. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. So not only is this thing, it's huge, right?
Huge.
Yeah. Yep. So they do a really good job for scale here. This one where she's walking into this massive, beautiful,
chamber, whatever it is. Yeah.
Entryway. That's the entryway.
I like these giant sculptures.
Yeah. It's a little, it's different, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a Greek mythology Hall of Heroes type of thing. They're different characters. Remember how he said you can come up with different type of characters? These are all depictions of some kind of alien super beings. There's like a Hydra, right? I think that's a tail Hydra. This guy with the super boots. This one over here to the right's got some super duper. Those boots are rocking, right?
Right.
But
overall, not
it's
not
good.
So derivative that you're like, oh, that's obviously Apollo. That's obviously, this and that. So
yeah, right.
It is weird and creepy, right?
It
there.
is.
With I had my notes. Weird
the
and
face.
creepy. Yes.
Yeah,
she even says it in the next one. This place is creepy enough.
Yeah, so she's thinking just like you are, man. This is a creepy place. Man. So it doesn't seem as glamorous, I guess, or glorious for her. Yeah. Of course, she's probably still tripping on the fact that she's there in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she drew her pistol, so she's security conscious. She's on point. So I'm liking that. You're not just gonna walk around there like la di da di da. And she's already kind of catching on that this isn't right, because now she sees these things that now she's kind of guessing maybe, JT, what you had said about virtual type of thing, or something's messing with her head, because she sees things back on Caprica. And then she runs into oh no.
She quotes Luke Skywalker, I've got a bad feeling about this. And then her drill sergeant comes out here and says, "Stop! Where's your battle buddy? I mean, stop." So,
Yeah.
there you
And they
go.
make him red. And I don't know why they couldn't have just made him silver with his red eye dot. That would have been a nice shot.
I think it was supposed to just be the lighting.
Yeah, I guess.
They do a good amount of shading
Yeah.
in there too. So I think it was meant to be.
The pencil looks
lighting.
great here. I mean,
Yeah.
her shot, her action shot here, kind of running forward, and we'll get another one of her later that I'll point out. And then the Cylon, it's a good drawing. The color is a little weird, but then we get a meanwhile, as we always like to see. Meanwhile,
At the Legion of Doom.
yeah. So they like doing the meanwhile sometimes, and then other times they forget to put it in when they need it, but they do a good job for the most part. We see the shuttle taking off, and oh, there's Jolly. Remember from the last issue last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although looking kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to recap that, or I can recap real quick? Or?
Go for it. Go for it.
So Jolly looks like this because he's undercover under Adama, who went to him. There's pirates that have been raiding ships for food, and he's going to try to go find out what's up, basically.
Yes.
So he's dressed up like this. What do they call him? I don't know. I didn't write it down because they mention it like 5 times later on. Some kind of salesman or something from Ganymede, not Ganymede. That's a Cowboy Bebop thing. Sorry. But anyway, Boomer's always busy, man. He just went from getting out of the fight to jumping into a shuttle to take Jolly. They're going to go to another ship, the Burnham, and he's going to go undercover there, but he's got to drop him off and he's got to sneak his way onto the ship. So that's what's going on there.
And I can't help but laugh because this reminds me of were you watching Nick Weiser's stream last night? We were watching A View to a Kill.
Yeah, I was lurking on some of it.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that then.
Yeah,
this is reminiscent of the James Bond plan right here.
Putin's cat stopped in to say hello.
The freighter Burnham, dead ahead.
It does look like mud. Yeah, but he doesn't do a very good job of sneaking in, does he?
No.
It's caught right off the bat. It's like, okay, that didn't work so well. But Jolly's got a good humor through all of this. And then back on the planet,
this is a bubble baby. If you scroll back up, they call that a bubble baby.
Yeah,
I don't know why. A little bit further up higher. A little bit more. Sorry.
More.
Yeah. Right there.
On the yeah.
Never heard of a bubble baby.
I think they just made it up on the run there. What do you think?
That's not a naval thing, like a submarine thing or anything like that.
Yeah, bubble.
I don't know.
Bubble baby. I guess a nickname that they made up. I don't. Yeah, totally on these guys. I missed that one.
I mean, you type that in on YouTube, on Google, you get quite a number of things that have nothing to do with whatever this is. So anyway,
yeah. So he's trying to sneak on. Sorry, I think my eye is bothering me. He sneaks on, gets caught right away.
Yeah, within like
okay,
2 minutes, maybe less.
Yeah, just walking down the hall. He just got there. And then back on Athena's planet, not not Jungle World, her planet, wherever she's at, and she blasts the Cylon, but now the whole place starts shaking. She thinks that maybe it's a Cylon stronghold or something, shaking. She takes off. Her face is purple all of a sudden. Yeah. And then we get a back end shot of her running away. She doesn't miss leg day, does she? She does her
No,
glute
she does not.
exercises.
Yeah. Yeah. And a few minutes later, she gets back to her ship, and oh no.
Yeah, we get this guy, Rez. He calls himself Rez. I'm not sure where they came up with that. I don't have a problem with it. It's a weird name, Rez.
Yeah, I'm not familiar either.
Yeah, so her Viper falls into a hole, just conveniently so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now she can't take off, but she doesn't have any gas anyway. Remember? That's why she landed.
Right.
But you don't want to lose a Viper, right? I like they did a good shot of the landing gear here. I should have pulled up my the landing gear for my huge Viper there, but yeah, that
they did,
looks pretty good.
Once again, the aspect is all off.
Yeah, it's way too big.
Yeah,
but so her Viper falls into a fissure, and she meets this guy dude thing, and he says, "I'm the proprietor of this world." So it's like a business, I guess, kind of thing, right? But I'm the proprietor. But anyway, their choice of words is weird sometimes. But and he tells her that this is Earth, but she's not really prepared for all this stuff, and she faints. And I'm like, what? What happened?
I almost thought she ran out of air.
Yeah, then they tell you that she ran out of air. You're like, okay, yeah, that makes
very
sense.
Next thing, yeah,
yeah. So they made up for that. So she wouldn't just, it was too much for her. What? No, she ran out of air, and this was Watchmen type stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Cinderella's castle in the background there.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it looks like Disney World. But this reminded me of Watchmen when what's his name took her up to Mars and just let her sit there for a second or two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With no air. We get what do you think about this Galactica shot?
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is, besides that one big splash page one we got, this is probably
the next best one.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is they do not duplicate what they did from the rear shot earlier in this very same issue, because if you look at the aft of the ship, it does not have all those domes and everything that you saw in that illustration. So
very good.
They're hoping, I guess, that you don't know how to flip back and forth and look. I don't know, but this is pretty good. It doesn't have the shovel head that you and I have come to really not enjoy.
Yeah, we don't like that, the shovel head part aspect, no matter what they do for it. So this is what I meant numerous issues ago for everybody with the nitpicking thing, Cap, and everybody. That so for some reason, JT, they've had 2 Battlestars now, Galacticas, with a very good detail on them. And you think to yourself, was it time and effort from before? You know, you see what I mean? They could do it. I mean, it wouldn't. This obviously took a lot of time, right? I mean, I would think. As far as art is concerned, this is good. Well, the ship, the Galactica. So, what do you think about that? I mean, it's like they pick and choose.
Check the chat real quick.
What happened?
One moment, folks.
I'm not catching it. Okay. So everybody, JT had to leave. I'm going to bring him back.
Okay. Hopefully that sounds better.
No, you had just a little pop every now and then, but nothing bad.
One more thing.
It wasn't distracting at all. Yeah, so everybody, JT is going to try to pop in and out to try to fix his mic. Although I didn't, if you guys can tell me, I didn't, I heard it, but it wasn't bothering me.
Okay.
Hello.
How about that?
Sounds way better.
Okay.
But
There we go.
it wasn't bad, JT. Actually, it wasn't
I
distracting to
was
me.
listening on the YouTube end and I sounded robotic. There's
Oh,
something
okay.
on StreamYards where I have to like leave and power stuff off and come back in. It hit me the other day and then I was fine for like the next 2 hours, but who knows?
Yeah, I've had to do that before
Who
where I had to
knows?
turn computers off completely, delete everything, start all over,
Yeah.
switch laptops, and then it was fine.
Exactly. So, in summary, just to revisit this, I do love this shot of the Galactica. I think, like I said, it's the second best one we've seen in all of the previous issues together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is cool.
So you
And
get
I believe they are trying to locate where Athena went, right?
Yeah.
They're just trying to fly around like there's a hole in space.
Flying around. Yeah, they're not
doing
telling
some
us
kind
they're
of pattern.
scanning. Yeah, just I don't know if they're doing sectors, vectors, quadrant search, whatever. They're
Right.
just like you said. But guess what? Guess what you see here in this pretty good shot of Apollo with a cigar. I mean, Starbuck. What do you see in this little square here, JT? It's just for you, man.
I see a flight stick.
Yes.
I see a flight stick. There we go.
It's just for you, dude.
Although it's oddly incredibly high.
Yeah,
I am going to complain about it anyway. It's like way up in his face. Kind of funny.
Yeah,
but it's there, right?
It's there.
It's there.
It's supposed to be a kind of an upward shot from like his control panel, right, and up. But they wanted to put the face in there, and he's saying she hit a space warp. But if it's there around, keeping myself pretty, and then all of a sudden, they find it out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, the continuity thing I was talking about is that it's out here away from the ship. So Rez had to have picked Athena out of the blue, right? She didn't fly through it.
Did she?
Well,
or did she not?
Remember, she was in the landing bay when she disappeared, because Apollo said she was right here when we landed, and they showed the picture of her disappearing. But not nitpicking, but that's what. Yeah. Apollo's defense was, well, she was with us when we landed. Where did she go?
Maybe the ship moved through that hole in space, and the Galactica was too big.
Well, a sci-fi argument would have been that it was like a trailing thing, but that would be impossible because the hole is way over here, the ship is over here, and she went to go land, and then she disappears. Just saying. Right?
Yep.
But I like the artwork.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the distance here with the planet, which is now purple, in the underside of the Viper compared to where the warp hole is and stuff. I like that they've done very well compared to the earlier issues of spacing in space. Pardon my pun.
Mm-hmm.
So they both go into this hole, and you're thinking like, surely they're smart enough to mark it. They would have, but then we get another meanwhile.
Well, somebody on the Galactica should be like eyes on glass staring at them on all of like your radars and screens and all of that, just to see, oh, you magically disappeared. That's where this envelope or hole is, right?
Yeah, and they would have the flight deck officer, whoever, obviously not Athena, but would have said, mark that, put a space beacon, a space marker, whatever you got to do, that's where that thing is, right?
Yes.
So we can mount probably a rescue mission. That's what I would be thinking, just in case.
Yeah.
Or something. But anyway, Jolly, I'm sorry, I scrolled down too fast. He's talking his way out of this, and he says he's from Aquarium. He's an aquarium ingestibles salesman. I'm like, okay. Nice. With that crazy mustache he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the green, I don't even know what you call those things on his head.
Yeah.
It's a wild haircut. Okay.
Definitely with his top knot, his fiery red top knot. Yeah, so he's showing he actually has papers that he drew up, so they were smart enough to at least have a background information for him set up just in case. If he's going in as a salesman, he's going to need some kind of ID and stuff anyway, right? So they had all that ready. So the subterfuge of sneaking him on, I guess, would have been that he's trying to stow away, and that might throw them off, and it works, right? The story works, but he meets this young lady here. She just happens to be there.
Lygia?
Yeah.
That sounds the most pleasing, I guess, to my ears. Lygia? Lygia
sounds good.
Lygia, I think sounds maybe the best out of those.
Yeah, she's from Vergon. I think
she's got blue hair, so
and she's got blue.
Probably has a Twitter account, folks. So.
Yeah, because I get all those people who follow me who have those kind of accounts, right?
Yeah.
I think 90% of my followers are those type of accounts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just leave them on there.
Like, well, you want to hang out? I'm off duty right now. Like, whoa.
Whoa. They're a bunch of Vergonians.
Yeah.
So Jolly gets out of the trouble, and they actually show him to some quarters that are only like hammocks. And if I was at the bottom hammock, I would like, no, we're switching. If I see Jolly coming in, I'm getting the top one, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sitting on the top hammock above me. But anyway, that's what happens here. He meets her, Lygia, and he's kind of cautious, but he's playing friendly, you know. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for helping me. Blah blah blah. And he peeks around the corner. I like how they did this, JT. Like, so when they think of things like this, he's in spy mode now, right? And this one to the left, I like how they showed him peeking around the corner to see if somebody's looking. I thought that was great.
James Jolly.
Yeah, because it shows that they're thinking, how would he act when he's in this mode now, right? So what was he doing? Sure. He was planting.
He was planting this little device into the circuitry behind the cover plate, so that way he can be alerted when the scanners pick up the pirates. So that way he's quote unquote the first to know, and that will hopefully allow him to act more quickly. And he barely gets the panel back before Lygia walks back in a night party dress gown thing.
She's always dressed for the occasion, right?
Yeah.
So Jolly's name is Salinas, and she decides to come back and play host, but now he's on guard because he's not sure if she caught him or not. He doesn't know. He's like, oh man, did she catch me? Man, what's her deal? You know, she's like over friendly, right? But then it gets a little did I say creepy with Athena?
Unsettling.
It's so back on the planet.
I don't think it's meant to be how you might be taking it.
Right. No, I'm not. It's just it's all in good. He doesn't, this character, this thing, because it's not a human, right? Mm-hmm. This alien doesn't mean any harm to her, and it wasn't meant to be weird or creepy or anything like that. But again, they bring it up, right?
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, you brought it up. So it's like, what did you do with my clothes? And they're like, oh, so he undressed her, and put her in this gown, right?
I don't even know if he did that. He might have snapped his fingers and it changed.
Could have been, and I think that's probably what happened, right? So he's not a creepy dude, right? So he goes, but while you rested, I provided you with something more comfortable. Okay, cool. And he can't fix the ship though. So I guess once that's broken, that's over with. Yeah, and Lady V, you're right. It's subjective. So, but I'm defending Rez here. He didn't do anything creepy. It's just they brought it up, right? So that's what they did with the clothes thing. And he's just trying to be kind of a nice dude. I'll call him dude. So he's portraying right? That skin tight outfit he's got on, right? Because all these characters definitely go to the gym, right? They don't miss workout day. This dude's buff.
Oh yeah.
And she's Athena's definitely shape. We already established that earlier, right?
Although he doesn't do the lower legs. Look at that. He skips doing leg day sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a bulging calf, but then skinnier legs here, right? It's kind of weird. And Lady says, yeah, he's striking a pose. Like, oh, look at me. I mean, luckily he's a nice alien up till now, right?
Yes.
So he can not manufacture food. How do you, when you said snap your fingers, that's the Star Trek, Star Wars, they
like the Q where he just kind of makes
like Q, you can make real food out of nothing. So there's the technical term for that kind of thing. It's beyond me, right?
Well, like a replicator kind of thing.
Yeah, he replicates what apparently he thinks is going to be real food, right? Because there it is. And now she's kind of like, is this really Earth? Where am I? How did I get here? She's a little dazed because he told her, you can breathe. It's fine. He was helping her. I laid out a spread, but then JT, Lady V, everybody, he makes his move.
Also, well, I just think it's kind of creepy because in the Silent Raiders, they pick up their images from the collective consciousness of your people and use them to lure you into my warp. I'm getting some. We're on yellow alert already. I'm kind of going to red alert right there.
Okay, so my first thoughts, whether they were wrong or right, probably would have been defending him with the whole clothes thing at first, right? Because he is trying to be nice. So I'll skip over that part because this part is kind of, it's creepy, right?
Yes.
But he kind of contradicts himself, I think, in the writing. Where did I miss that? Because you said it, the Lord part, right? Because he said it, right? I lured you in.
Part, he did just above on the far right.
Okay, but where's the part where he says I didn't? He goes, it wasn't intended for you specifically. My space traveler could have stumbled into it, but then he turns right back around and says, no, I lured you in here.
Well, he was just waiting for the first ships to come by.
Yeah, but he could have picked Apollo,
but
I mean Starbuck or Boomer. He went for her.
But he could have picked the scrapping pirate army too.
Yeah, so he picked her
for the next one to come around. But then he picked her out of the group that came by.
Yeah, and the only defense that he has is he's this kind of alien, right? We've got to remember that he's not human. Somebody put in the thing that somebody looked like mud earlier. That's funny. Some things that reminded you from her, like you said, from her mind. So he's just this alien creature. And I've given you in reality your vision of a perfect world. This could be Earth for you or paradise. And he moves in for some smoochy boochie.
Yeah, and she gives them the literal smackdown. And then what is cool is the right side of this frame here. Reality's border flickers.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a holodeck that is kind of like messed up.
Well, what is she pulls a, I'm going to have to do it because we're close to the end here. What does she say here?
What do you mean? I'm not yours.
Her when she slaps him, look at her.
Yeah, but I am not yours to command.
I am not yours to command, man. And I'm like, you know, I gotta play it. It's been a couple weeks.
Yes.
Sorry, everybody. I had to do it because she says it. I'm like, oh, I'm not missing this opportunity. She slaps the shit out of him. So much, JT, that you caught on. And I'm going to tell you, I did not see that. I did not catch on to that. The pink there. Very good. Even though I read it, I didn't look at the art. And very good eye, as always. And now we're kind of a theme here, right? But we'll save it.
And then
plot
where did she find this weapon? Who knows?
Steak knife. Turkey carver.
I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna go with turkey carver because it goes with the with something I made a note on.
Fair enough. That works. That works.
Although I'm gonna tell you, man, that's kind of a badass turkey carver.
So she's, like, you're gonna take me back, and that's gonna be that. And then the storm starts.
Yeah. So again, here comes this underlying plot theme that I didn't catch on until about right now. So she slapped him. Something happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she's threatening to pretty much, chop his head off. But and now we get the storm, the thunder and lightning draw Athena's attention. So you can kind of catch on maybe what's going on with this guy. So she grabs a turkey leg. That's why with the turkeys.
And then she picks up a turkey leg and just clocks him in the face with a big old turkey leg.
Whop.
Yeah, so in Lady V's right. On some planets that's an overture to I guess a mating ritual of some sort.
Yeah, well, Lady V's totally into all of this. Yeah, no, you keep going. You don't have to stop. We love the chat here. And Gap is lurking, so I know you're enjoying this. So yeah, Gap, I know you're probably like, man, I want to get into this chat because Athena's got a turkey leg and it's this guy right in the head with it.
Just whacks him with the giant turkey leg.
But she must have hit him pretty hard because.
And then he reverts back to I don't know if that's his natural state, but it's to a different state. We'll just leave it at that, right? Because shapeshifters can change into anything. So how do you know what's their real form? We don't here. That doesn't matter, but it's just scary as hell.
It's a scary one. I like it. It's got claws. They don't even show the face here, do they?
Kind of has like a Zoidberg face.
Face. Yeah, nice.
But
classic sci-fi trope. I mean, we can say, we've seen this in Star Trek, right? The very first couple episodes, right?
But I argue
what an episode was the first.
I don't focus on this one. My eyes wander over to the next little bit of the story, if you know what I mean. So
right. So this is what I meant about he undressed her and put her in this dress. It wasn't that he was being maliciously over, you know what I mean, right? He did, but then again, he went right in for it. But that will come in later. That actually gets explained for the most part to defend Rez. But they put her in this skimpy dress here. And it's not skimpy. It's actually a nice dress, right?
Yeah.
Because it's true to form for what they might be wearing then. For a nice evening ball gown on a hot date. But that's what Rez is thinking. Because you got to remember, he's using her memories, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
but
it is pretty scary.
You get it. They do comment about it in the next.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been having fun.
Yeah. The Starbuck, my man. So the writers, they've been doing such a good job, at least for that. What I always say, the Starbuck lore, right? He's got a snappy, he's got something to say about that. And look at Apollo's face. Like, what the? I mean, it's not the best, but it does give a little bit of an, oh, geez, what are you wearing? But she's like, whoa, get away from me, because she doesn't know who's real or not. And we get like a long neck head shot of the alien thing. Just has like a weird lower jaw thing going on, like you said, Zorborg thing. I don't know what's up with Starbucks. They forgot to color his top lip here, but it's something they missed. They shoot it. I'll wing it, get to a Viper, and again, there's going to have to be two people sitting in one, right?
Yes.
But then when they shoot it, you get another earthquake. So now everybody should be catching on to what's up with this guy. And then she's blatantly just tells us what's up with him. So the creature created the space warp, and it maintains this world in injury. So she caught on to the fact that if it gets injured, it hurts the environment. So I'll just set it to stun, and Apollo's not really catching on to what she just told him, right? But I guess he doesn't really have a choice because he's running after him. I'm not sure if he's attacking them or not, but they shoot him anyway. Again, they stun him, and the whole place starts going crazy. The whole world starts breaking up, right?
Yes.
This was a kind of a, I don't know, I guess they were just trying to fill in some good stuff with this creature.
I enjoy this whole sequence.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The crust of the planet heaves and buckles, creating great cliffs and chasms where none were there before, hurtling Athena high into the air. So I'm like, oh, geez. Okay. And then, of course, Apollo has to, dramatize it and say, oh, my God, the fall from that height will kill her. I'm like, yeah, that launched her. Launched her several hundred feet in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's comics and stuff. You know what I mean? That's the comic writing classic. Add that on. And you got to read these boxes. Sometimes I've skipped them in the past. Well, not when I first read them. When I got them, I read everything.
Right.
Behind them, shape-shifting shadow jesters, and you can see it take shape here with Apollo and Starbuck. And then it turns into this kind of cool winged monster. Q. You remember Q? That pretty bad classic.
Oh, of course.
It's so bad. It's good classic.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't seen Q, everybody. Sorry, JT. If you haven't seen Q, go back and watch it. You might not like it, but it's just an old classic, and you'll know what I'm getting at here. It's not very good. You probably won't like it, but so they got to go on a rescue. Sorry, JT, cut you off there.
So, then he flies away, and it's like, I'm sorry, I just wanted to give you this magical thing. Then you've got Apollo here saying the only way you're going to leave is in a body bag if you don't give me my sister back. And she tells him to shut up. I don't know why, other than we need to hear him talk some more. We need to hear this alien talk more. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely 100% correct again. And everybody who's been following us, these blasters can do some damage. So that's what I was saying. Apollo wasn't paying attention, even on stun. Who knows what that damage can do, right? We know what it can do on full. So what I was going back to earlier is what she's setting up the fact that so he can get his Oscar-winning talk here to kind of explain what's up with himself. He's like this astral type being, right? He's like a Q.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. The actual movie that I was referencing is actually called a Q. So he says, for eons, my race had evolved till it could enter another non-physical dimension. My task had been to discorporate the others. Okay. but our laws forbade me to destroy my own body, so he couldn't do that. All right. So I brought you here to basically off. He wants to be offed.
Yeah, it was basically explained it. They evolved so they could get to this other plane. And so it was his job to disincorporate them. And so he was the last one holding the bag. So he was going to, ask her to eat him, I guess. And she says, "Oh, is that really what you want?" And then just spins around and blam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. So there wasn't much like, yeah, dude, you couldn't have said it better. He was left holding the bag. So now you kind of understand that this guy hit whatever mind that he has is like all over the place. I mean, obviously he could stay there, right? He wanted her to stay, right? That's why he made the food. He wanted to kiss her. He realizes that's not going to work because she smacks him with the turkey leg after already slapping him. So now he's pretty much resigned to the fact that, okay, if I can't keep her here, I'm done. Right, I'm done.
Yep.
Just off me. I don't want to do this anymore. I tried. So you can kind of go back and feel almost sorry for the guy for the way he was acting, putting her in a nice dress and the food, in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you touched on something. She, like you said, she just turns around and blasts him. No more dialogue. She just does it. And Apollo is just like appalled. And Starbuck, they're like, "What did you do?" And Starbuck calls it, "You murdered him." I'm like, wow.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. You fired on him point blank, Athena. That was cold-blooded murder. And I'm like, Starbuck, you just got there.
I don't think it was.
No. Apollo's just kind of standing there like, oh, he's gone. And she rips into him about it. It wasn't murder. I doubt it. No, we've got to leave. Starbuck, when, like I said, he's on point. He's like agreeing with her. Yeah, you're right. But he does, the character guy, Rez, does say something to kind of ease the tension between the whole murder thing. Do not weep for me, but he calls her beloved. You too may someday walk this path and we will meet again. And it's like, whoa, that's deep. Right? What do you think about him calling beloved?
Yeah, that's a bit much. But who knows how long he was on that planet by himself? Who knows?
Who knows, man? I mean, that's basically what I was getting at. He tried with her, it didn't work, and he said, "I'm done. That's it. I'm out. Can you just take me out?" She's like, "Okay." So what I don't like is the fact that she didn't really reiterate with these guys before she blasted them that, okay, once I do this, we got to get going. I would have said, because they ask, right? Can we make it to the Vipers in time? And what did he say? Probably.
Yeah.
Did you catch on to that?
Yeah, I definitely saw that. I'm like, oh, so that means yes.
Yeah, but I thought that was hilarious. Probably. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Depends how fast you walk, I guess.
Yeah, Lady V, her rejection turned him out. That was pretty much it for poor Rez. He couldn't deal with it anymore. And like JT said, who knows how? It could be a millennium he'd been on there, right? Or eons. Who knows? He's been there by himself. Apparently not a lot of traffic in those areas. Could have got some Cylons to hang out with maybe along the way. Anyway, that's digging too deep. Yeah, so you kind of feel for him for the most part when you really think about it, but she doesn't give him much time here at all. No like hanging out a little bit, just kind of because she knows once she does it, they've got to get to the Vipers. And like I said, he said they could have enough time, but she doesn't tell these guys, "Hey, JT, like, hey, Apollo, Starbuck, let's hey, let's walk over to the Vipers.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm like, you couldn't just give this shapeshifter a hug goodbye right next to the Vipers. Then
let's go for a walk.
You'll probably make it. Just a thought. You'll probably make it if you're standing right there.
That she doesn't really tell them, hey, listen, we got to get closer because once I do this, it's. She might have thought that they were going to talk him out of it, which the way Starbuck is acting, they might have, especially Apollo. You know, it could have been another way, but they didn't take that angle, so it doesn't matter. And then, you know, hey, this is what we got. Luckily for her, he did do that speech bubble to kind of, and Apollo heard it. So I still like the art here. You know, the space with them coming off the planet.
I feel it's a bit much that she's tearing up for somebody that she just yeeted because he was kind of creepy.
Yeah. Now she's still, she's crying, but she's still not out of the woods with Starbuck. And Apollo now is really getting pissed off about the whole thing. I want some explanations. And she tells him that he made the planet just for her. I don't know that there wasn't something on the other side of that warp anyway, right?
Right.
So her assumption is that he was just floating around in space. Could be like Q. He's a Q character. That's what he is. He's Q. His body is gone, but not his spirit. So they head for the space warp hole, the little space thing. I wouldn't call it, whatever you want to call it, to get out of there. And then this planet blows up. So it's actual real stuff, like the food, right? I mean, it's actually, he made it out of nothing. So say that, take that with a grain of salt. Maybe some deeper meanings there, JT, but we won't get into all that. You've brought it up in the past. That character, I wouldn't have liked to have seen him just disappear, maybe help them, but like I said, this is the path they chose. So the writers, I mean. She makes it back, and we get another shot of the dress, of course. But she's feeling kind of guilty now. And Apollo, I like that face. He's kind of like, yeah, you're going to have to deal with this one on your own. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did I act wisely? You know, a great and wonderful being gave me my dreams. So now, you know, she's feeling a little bit down about it. But hey, oh well, you're the one that just took him out just like that. What do you think about all that?
I like this whole story. I mean, you could have gone many different directions with it, but I think they picked a decent one to go through with, and I don't have any issues with it. Really, I don't.
No, I like
it. It tied up the story nice and neat at the end of it too. Like you feel like you close the last page of the comic and be like, the end.
You know it's definitely the end. I mean, he had her take him out. That's as end as it gets, right? For him, and I like how you said that. It's tied it right on up, neat and clean, and it left her with some really deep character development. I like that, right? It shows the human element, stuff that we got in Godzilla -1, right? And why people liked it so much, and why we probably like it. Could have gone so many other ways, but that's just doesn't matter. That's the way they went with it. They get some letters here, some nice ones. Although one dude calls Sapphire a twit.
Yeah.
I think she's a twit. That's a little harsh. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can see where if you're being mean, you could come up with something like that. We weren't merely being mean to her. And they defend her. She's not a twit. But other than that, the letters are pretty nice. They bring up the fruit thing, though. A guy calls them out about the fruit, saying, you know, it turned into people and stuff like that, right?
And I thought it was unnecessary to even ask. It's just me.
Yeah. Well, they had a good comeback this time. Normally, they try to, instead of just saying, "Okay, yeah, you're right, we're wrong," they really rarely will do that. So what they said is, it's fruit survival.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, so they defend it by saying that the fruit itself is such a sentient being that it turns people into meat eaters, so they won't eat the fruit anymore. But what the fruit does is make people eat it in the first place.
Yeah, they were messing with them.
It's just messing with the guy.
I mean, why would you even write in asking about the fruit when it's well known that many fruits are the way they are, so that way animals will eat them and carry the seeds somewhere else?
Yeah, well, the guy was just
It's
straight up,
like,
"What's the point of the whole fruit thing?" And I was like, "Well, it's the story they came up with, right?"
exactly.
Like, again, the only part we have with it is they don't do anything to help the 8 men down there. That was kind of bad, really, really
Right.
bad. But we trashed that on the last issue. So let me get out of this one. Any final thoughts, or do you want to save them while I gear up for the next one?
Let's save it for, I guess, the rating at the very end. But overall, I liked this issue. I have very few things to nitpick, and I think most of those were in the art.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I'm gearing up. Don't need that. Ooh,
Yeah.
I always hate to X out of something. I got to triple check, man. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to take the whole stream off by accident, which I did once with, I think, Hungry or You a long time ago. Or Dad.
Lady V Elements says that this was very entertaining, and I'm glad that you found it entertaining, Lady V. And we have one more issue we're going to go through tonight. I hope that this one is at least as entertaining as the first one. I may be not so generous. We'll see.
Yeah. We're definitely going to see how that works out. I was going to highlight Lady V's thing, but I don't. There we go. Just want to put it up there for everybody. Yeah, it was a good one. JT and I had said a long time ago, after the third issue, breaking away from the show, there's a billion different things you can come up with, right? And we always said, it's just how good are you going to do it, right? It doesn't matter whether we think, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. That's all the fun part about it, right? But just do it as the best you can and not do some of the silly things they've done.
Yes.
Issue 14, everybody.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. The Unforgiven, as Cobby would have said, the issue that shouldn't exist, like the one episode of Voyager that he was so mad. He said it doesn't exist. I remember that Thursday night show with him, and oh man, he went off about that one. Man, he really did.
Yeah,
he was very upset about it. But that shows the passion. Very passionate. I was pretty passionate, JT. I think you and I were about issue 14 too. It's just just so bad. And they've gotten a lot better. And you called it, I think, after 14. Did we do 14 and 15 together? Can't remember. You said that they were going to get better.
I think we did 13 and 14. Well,
13
anyway.
and 14. Yeah, you did say that they were going to get better. And why is this not? Oh, I got to share it to the stage. See, I got to do all these things. Now, I can see it, but you couldn't see
it. What do you think, Dave, on this?
The cover, can this be a love story? I know why they did it, but it doesn't make sense for the cover if you haven't read it yet. It's just a block of yellow.
I hate this cover. And
let us know.
You get the Hammerhead Galactica again.
Yeah, you get the shovel.
Yep, the shovel. Sorry, not the Hammerhead. The shovel.
No, that's fine. The shovel.
Yeah, Lady V, everything could be a love story. Yeah.
Well, there's definitely a love kind of story going on in this one. I wrote notes on that. Don't let me. Yeah. Hopefully, I won't forget to bring it up.
This is like a James Bond pose.
Yeah. Would you say that the barrel of this blaster is a little bit bigger than it should be?
A little stupider than it should be? Yes.
Yeah. Although For everybody who missed those issues. Gap knows, I think, Fanti, if any of you guys are lurking, I said you could just put like 1,000 of these blasters on the outside of the ship and you won't need cannons. Just use the blasters. Yeah, like, it's kind of phallic. It's huge, right, JT? It's way too.
And then you got Jolly
sense.
doing a can.
He's
maneuver.
doing a Billy Jack on this guy.
I'm like, damn.
What? Jolly could never in a million years lift his leg. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, that's past, like, NFL kicker height.
That's accurate. That's ballerina. Look, Jolly's an athletic guy because not because because he's big doesn't mean he's not athletic. He'll knock your lights out, right? But in the show he was kind of out of shape for a Colonial Warrior, wouldn't you say?
I mean, he has enough of a belly; it's going to get in the way. I don't see how you could.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Apollo being the feature. Did I miss out on something there?
I do not like the cover. Let's scroll.
Yeah, let's just go down. Yeah, and the splash page is pretty bad.
Yes,
I think. I don't. These titles. Okay, so you got the title on the cover that doesn't fit. Normally, we always say it that the cover will tell you themes or the plot lines, right? Mm-hmm. It does with Jolly, but we already know that. The thing with Apollo and the blaster doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we're going back to the Burnham, everybody, right? So Jolly is undercover on the Burnham. He meets
not the Michael Burnham.
No, not the Michael Burnham.
We're not going into the basement that is Star Trek Discovery. Okay.
Yeah, lady, just say it. Nope. Yeah, the art. Oh, they go from one issue to the next. It's not. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's bad art on this. I'm sorry, it is.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
The lettering on that, black is the color of my true love's hair.
I have no idea what the heck they're talking about.
Can we?
Let's
anyway.
Yeah, let's just get to halfway good, decent stuff here. That splash page was terrible.
Already, we haven't even started the cover page. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything pertinent in the yellow boxes that we might have missed? Oh yeah. I remember now. They make fun of themselves for the skimpiness of the dress, but they didn't do it to Athena because Starbuck did that, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like you were having fun. So look at what they say here. So again, they do it, JT, not just us. So we're not nitpicking. We're calling them out on their own stuff here. The gentleman addressed is wearing the costume of an Aquarian ingestible salesman. The lady's wearing next to nothing.
Yeah.
I just laughed my ass off. I like the humor. But they're telling on themselves, right? Well, you drew it. And they meant to do that. They're high-fiving themselves in the room, right? Like, hey, Bob, look at this. Look what I put in the comic. Oh, God, that's great. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a Virgonian type of character here, right? Not smashing the Virgonians, but they said it. That's where she's from. She made reference that to herself in the last issue. But man, she is just all on Jolly. It must be that top knot. What do you think?
Must be. Must be.
It doesn't make sense though, right? Not that saying that Jolly, she might not like him, but she just met him and she's the Virgonian type thing. But he's like, yeah, I'm out. I got stuff to do. See you later.
I mean, does she have Spurpees or something? I don't know why she is so heavy on this with him.
Well, you gotta. Well,
he rejects her again.
Yeah. Well, he's on a mission. But Jolly probably being not the ladies' guy. This gets to him later. I'm a little foreshadowing. Also, do you notice the number 2 here in the middle under this guy's heel? I forgot to mention this in the last issue because we were having fun with that one. It didn't have page numbers, the last comic. I don't know if you noticed that.
You think the scan was just cut off?
No, it was every page. It's in the comic. Yeah, it did. Because when I was reading it, like I try to always read it before the night, make notes. I always try to put page number, and I was like, oh, like the slap on the turkey leg. So I have a note for the whoomp, but no page number because there wasn't that. They didn't put page numbers in the other issue. Just something I caught on to. Yeah. So, but Jolly, he's rejecting her because he's on this mission, and he's also kind of like, you are moving way too fast, lady. But he goes, I sure wish I knew what her angle was. If she persists, she could start to get in the way of my nailing the food pirates. But here it comes, JT. Jolly might be, a little lonely himself these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if she doesn't persist, I can be very disappointed. I need some time to think. So I'm just laughing my ass off. But it's a good thing about a character that, hey, Jolly's lonely too. And she's hot, right?
Yeah.
Let's face it. They drew her hot. I didn't draw her hot like that. And it's actually starting to get to him. Stay on mission, Jolly. Right?
Right.
Very Bondish with this lady here, but Bond was a player. We know that. Jolly's not a player, so he's just a regular guy trying to make it through. But he comes back to the quarters and meets this old dude. I guess this is just kind of throw in a different character. We get to meet different characters. I'm all for that, right? I'm all for meeting new, different people. So we meet this kind of raggedy old dude because his coat has patches and stuff in it. And he looks really rough. Cranky type of guy. King Terrors. So he thinks Jolly's trying to rob him. You know what I mean? That typical type of thing. Oh, you're trying to rob me. I don't have anything. But check out my hot wife.
Yeah. All he owns is the clothes on his back and a picture of his wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
The joke's on you, Sonny. Okay. Okay, bro.
I'm a light sleeper, so don't try anything. But then he leaves.
Yeah.
Because again, he doesn't have anything to steal. So okay. And I love this face with Jolly. He's like, whatever, dude.
So then
the art is great here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I mean about when they do it right. They do it right. Excuse me, everybody. That's why I keep the water. But man, when they do it bad, they do it bad. It's like, why can't you do this like most of the time? This is a fantastic picture of Jolly here with the eyes. Look in the smile. It's anyway. I just had to point it out and really focus on how good that is.
It also, I like this gadget that he has. It's a micro projector that he can bring up the schematics of the ship and just shine it on the ground and start studying it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. He's got some gadgets here. I like that too. I'm glad you brought that up. So he's studying the layout of the ship a little bit more. So he's staying on point here, which is good, right? And then we get back to meanwhile above the surface of Jungle World because they're still there. But what is this thing? It's this Jungle World has all this metal stuff around it. JT, what am I looking at?
No, that's a container ship, I believe, that's loaded to the gills with the fruit stuff.
The purple is the okay.
I think it's the fruit stores.
Okay.
That's
right,
what I was just
completely lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Colonel Ty is doing grunt work. I guess he's out there making sure they get it done, but they don't have anybody to do that kind of stuff, like a sergeant or a civilian who's in charge of this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because they don't ever really reference how low manpower that they have. It's actually in one of the letters. Somebody calls them out on something. I think it's in this issue about Cassiopeia, which I had been thinking about too. And they defend it with the fact that they're low on manpower. So if Colonel Ty, who's a great pilot himself, I mean, it's not beyond reason that he would be out there, but in these kind of tactical situations, you wouldn't want your XO out there in case something bad happened, right, JT? Militarily speaking.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, hey, Gap is leaving.
Oh, see you, Gap. Have a good one. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, Gap. Hope we didn't run you off. I know you were busy tonight, so thanks for taking the time to stop by and saying hello. Always appreciate you being here. And your Godzilla stuff you keep sending me. This is good stuff, dude.
Yeah, Dave, it is definitely a concern to have that. Also, almost every single episode of Star Trek ever made has the captain being down into danger. So
yeah, and I do wear the black Superman suit, Lady V, because they don't use these characters properly at times, and it doesn't matter if we're nitpicking or not. It just doesn't, because we know, JT, and everybody who's been following us, they make references to old war stuff all the time because the Galactica is a military ship to begin with. Yes. That's what it's all about anyway. But we get my monitor shot. I finally get a good monitor shot that somebody's speaking.
It's a cool one too.
So you get a whole letter grade. Because not only is it just a monitor shot, there's actual interaction with it.
It looks kind of like an iPhone or something that they taped up there too.
Yeah.
Funny.
So like they're talking about, we can't forget that the fact that Shadrach has been going over that old that old ship that Starbuck landed with.
Yeah, so we kind of inject a third storyline in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that is, like you said, taking us back to the ship that Shadrach's putting back together that Starbuck picked up from the scavenger world that they believe is from Earth.
Correct.
So they feel like if they can put it back together, it'll somehow help them navigate their way to Earth.
Yeah. A little more deeper backstory is that Adama, remember when he was laying in his cabin, and Boxy was there with all the data and stuff like that, he found that they were using pulsars as, like a sextant. You would use a sextant for stars. They were using pulsars, and they are themselves are the sextant. But there's so many of them that he narrowed them down to, like, what did he say? 83 different variables, different ways that they could go. So I remember when he got real despondent and was going to give up, was thinking about giving up, but they think that this can find the actual one path of pulsars. So Apollo's just kind of hanging out, having a really good talk. I like these interactions that they do sometimes, as long as it doesn't distract. They're very good at distracting with unnecessary talk, but every now and then they have good interactions between the characters, just kind of hanging out. Apollo's just like, so what's going on? How you doing? He goes into all these fixed points of reference to steer by. That's what I was referring to. The pulsars over here. Kind of shows you how big the Battlestar Galactica can be, because this is like a really huge area that he's working in, right? It's not just like one little part of the loading bay or something, you know what I mean? That they would just move that over and he'd have a little section of the loading dock area to work on. It looks like they've got this huge thing. And they're going to do it again for size on something different with Boomer later. So Shadrach's just trying to figure it out. Basically, that's what's going on. And we get a little reference to one of your favorite things here to the right from Apollo.
The Daggett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. they're going to try to replace. He's going to try to get a new Muffy. Issue 14, everybody.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, moving on. So as we've seen a million times, conveniently, there's somebody there that probably would not be. There's Boomer. He says, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, what? Oh, hey, hi, Boomer." And that's what he says, actually. Apollo's looking a little grim. Apollo's asking him, "Hey, what's going on?" Then there's this is a setup here. Boomer tells us, right, that Starbuck and Cassiopeia are heading over for some R&R over on the Rising Star. And you remember the Rising Star from Shire Uri and all the food stuff numerous issues ago. Yeah, Lady V, they're going to get a new muff. Lady V, so you have to go back to issue 14, and JT and I are not going to talk about that horrible issue, but the Muffy bought it in issue 14. That's all. We'll go with that, right, JT?
Yep.
Just to let Lady V know what happened. Yeah. So the Muffy bought it in issue 14. So Boomer and Apollo are having a little talk, just being friendly with each other. And he's telling them Jolly's all set aboard the Burnham, give them a little info on what's going on, and that's about it. Just a little chat between the characters here. Nothing crazy. I kind of like it.
Didn't do much for me, honestly. But
yeah, I mean, it's just it didn't further anything though, right?
Right.
For me, it's just I like it every now and then when they have little talks, but they got to make it short and just move on. Like the whole Boomer thing here was unnecessary. Apollo would have already known that Jolly was on the mission, right? I would think.
Yes.
If Boomer knows, Apollo knows, because it wasn't a secret thing for those guys. Because Boomer, obviously, he knows because he took him over there. He's the one that flew him over. What do you think about this wall thing? This is like something out of Dune.
I wanted to ask you about this because is this like a dead space in the middle of the ship where like the gravity in the ship is like canceled out or something? I was so confused why they would do this in the center of the ship. A lot of questions here. I mean, it does have a cool factor to it, but it just also stretches belief a little too far.
So let me go up. The setup is, I hope he joins Starbuck. He could use the light touch. Meanwhile, I better get set for some serious listening. Okay, so the setup is that Boomer's going to do this? Yeah. Boomer's going to go to this area that you're talking about here. And it's just so misplaced for sci-fi in the Galactica world, right? It seems something like out of Dune. You know what I mean? Like, that was the first thing I thought. I don't know why. I have no idea. The wall, a gigantic chamber at the heart of the Galactica, manned by all these technicians who monitor the very texture of space. I was like, well, they have the resources for that, but Colonel Ty's out there doing grunt work.
Yep. Oh, well, of course.
No sense. Technicians who maintain their unrelenting vigil. Okay, so yes, they would have 24-hour details on a military ship, listening to radar, listening to this. But you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, stuff 10, 11, 12. I don't know about that, JT.
That we can even see.
This is only one lower quarter section of the wall.
If the camera panned a little bit, we probably could see more.
Yeah, it's a little misplaced.
It is
too
cool,
huge,
but I don't think it works for Battlestar Galactica.
Phantom's here. Yeah, what do you guys think about that wall? A little misplaced. Anyone know where Meshach and Abednego? It's odd that the names are Greek myth, zodiac signs, and biblical. Yeah, definitely. They've laid off the deep religion type stuff that we saw in a lot of the earlier issues, especially with Adama on Cobol. in the old ruins, right? There was a veiled reference in the last issue that I brought up, but that was really digging deep for me on my side of it anyway. So there's an adjournment. I mean, not an adjournment, a gathering of the quorum, the leaders here. And Adama's just kind of, it's like a briefing meeting, you know. I like that table though. What do you think about that table?
That is a really cool table.
Yeah. They had the time and thought process to they could have just made a silver table, you know, or a brown table. Who cares? But they took the time and effort to make this really cool psychedelic space table. Now, I don't know, is that a reflection from one of the screens around back? Who knows? It's cool. I like it. But basically, they're just having a meeting about what's been going on. And they're kind of giving Adama crap about trying to find Earth again. So we're back to that. You know, what do you think that they're going back to that kind of old trope? I thought they would have been over that by now. You know, didn't they talk about this with them trying to stay on that planet already, JT? A couple issues ago?
Yeah,
didn't they have
did.
that talk?
I mean, this is a legitimate conversation they're having about where they should go next. And it's still not resolved after 6 issues, something like that. 5 issues.
Yeah, but the thing is, they know they're not going to stay there. So why are they? They're still giving him crap about trying to find it. You know,
they want to go
and
somewhere
how
else.
and when.
They don't necessarily want to stay here, but they want to go somewhere that's not his cockamamie scheme either.
Well, let's try to find Earth. If we've not, let's just go that way and try to find it, and until we find something else that I can't, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They just went back to it. But there is something that I absolutely love about the council. I don't know who this guy is. I don't think he's a council member, though. Do you remember how I always used to say nobody had his back? You know, in the day, the council, they always just wouldn't say anything,
right.
Especially during the Shire Yuri days. If you guys remember, nobody stood up for Adama that we know about. They just sat there and let him have to fend for himself. The Shire Yuri is such a sleaze bag. But this was so cool that somebody, this guy here, comes up and kind of whispers into Adama's ear, you know, hey, you need to be careful, man, about what the deal is. If you're leaving yourself wide open here, what do you think about that, JT?
Oh, that's good. That is good. But I also think that he knows, without Ilya telling him, that he knows that he's leaving himself wide open to be replaced.
Yeah, he would know that because he's been doing it forever, right? But I thought it was cool that somebody that we don't know, a new character, right, just out of the blue, has his back. Somebody we've never met, somebody we don't even get to talk to or meet even after this. That somebody in the writers thought, well, you know, he needs somebody to come and tell him whether he. Now we know that he knows what he's doing for the most part. He has made mistakes, but it was just kind of cool from my end of things to see somebody out of the blue we've never met come up and support him, right? But they do it directly. Say, hey man, I'm kind of looking out for you. Be careful what you're doing, you know, that kind of thing. I thought that was pretty awesome. And then we get another meanwhile. Jolly's kind of chilling, but he's thinking about what's going on. He's taking a nap.
Looks like he's got, in that shot, I don't know, what does he have over his eyes? It's kind of weird.
I don't know if that's just like the hammock above him or shading or something.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Somebody's sneaking up on him.
He spins in his hammock trying to get out, which is hilarious.
He's so agile. But the action scene here has got him like something out of a Bugs Bunny cartoon anime.
Yeah.
And then he just flies out. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Just
then of course it's the woman who won't leave him alone, and she hits on him again. That was marvelous. Are you always so athletic?
Like, oh, jeez.
No, apparently just this
Hard.
issue.
So then she starts to pass out, right? And he starts feeling faint as well. And he somehow has just, the guy always has all of his equipment, everything issued to him just right on hand because he's got nose
Yeah.
plugs.
He pulls a Batman here. Like when they go robbing and them go underwater. Oh, put your freaking, underwater stuff you got.
Because everyone in the colonial military carries nose plugs with them.
Yeah, apparently so. I know, right? It's this was from Scream. I'm starting to feel a little woozy here. You remember Scream? I'm just laughing, and it's not because of them. I'm laughing because I made that joke for myself. Obviously, they didn't make this in 1980, but so I'm going to go back to like the whole him spinning out of the hammock thing. I found all this quite humorous, but I don't think they meant it to be, right?
So if you have nose plugs, how are you breathing and not getting the knockout gas in you?
They should have came.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you and I are just going to be like, okay, come on, really? So the gas it's not going to affect you at all because you're not breathing. What? Yeah, he's thinking about finishing a conversation with her, Phantom, and lady's like, are they the plug talking about the plugs? Yeah, that make much sense to the JT. Glad you called that out.
Right.
But he fakes it.
Yes.
What were you saying?
Yeah. He doesn't see anything on ship scanners either,
which is weird, right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I had to get rid of that comment. That's why I left that comment up. My bad. Nobody yelled at me. I couldn't see it because I had the comic over it. So look over. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so he plays dead. Like you said, it's something very, very important. He doesn't see it on the ship scanners. Very interesting, right?
Right.
So he plays possum. And then they're kind of just writing things as they go along, like the nose plugs. They didn't really think that out, right, JT?
Right.
So they're robbing people, but they're robbing that guy who's got nothing. I'll get to I know you're going to say something about the picture, but they skip Jolly, who's dressed up in all this kind of nice stuff, and they don't rob him because they think he's booby trapped.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
He's not the one in the room that's booby trapped, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. At least I think I do. But the fact that you just come up. So I'm all in at this point now, JT, that whoever's writing this and the color guys are sitting back there, and Jim Shooter's nowhere to be found. And because he's that full-on editor. All right.
Yeah.
We know that, right? He's still the full-on editor. They have Louise something is one of the side editors, co-editors. That these guys are doing nothing but having fun on their own expense, at their own time.
Because they know that the comic's done or something by now, right?
Well, they're coming up with stuff that's hilarious, but doesn't fit in the continuity with the nose plugs. They're obviously missing stuff here. The nose plugs things is ridiculous. Like you said, he still would have affected him. He's breathing. If you can't be breathing through your mouth, it goes in your lungs, you get knocked out. Duh.
Exactly. That's how it works, right?
You lose a whole letter grade on this. I mean, it's ridiculous, right?
Yes.
But what I think is happening here, because of some of the other little funny things they've been doing, when I was talking about them high-fiving on some of the jokes, I hear they put the booby trap in bold. And they claim that, I heard that Aquarian Ingestibles sells booby traps. Only those guys, right? Oh, that's something that's been around the whole colonies, right?
Oh yeah, everybody
for
knows
eons.
About them.
Everybody knows about those guys.
Salespeople.
That they would booby trap themselves. They're almost like, who in your Star Trek world they wouldn't do it, but might do it if they thought of
Maybe the Ferengi.
There you
I
go.
don't even know.
This is a Ferengi type thing. What? Maybe, but they made it up.
What really
obviously they just made the shit up, dude.
What really gets me is this thing where this pirate comes in and like catcall whistles this guy's picture of the wife.
Yes, I knew you were gonna say
what the hell.
So these writers, I'm telling you, man, I wish I could go back in time. There's two things I would want to do, but one of them might be I would want to sit in a room to see if these guys are just high-fiving themselves for their hilarity, right? I'm gonna make, you know what I'm gonna do, Bob? Yeah, what's up, Tom? I'm gonna make this guy get all freaking, horny over this lady's picture.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, do it. And they put it in here. I mean,
and that's what gets him so angry. He has to come out of his
right.
costume routine. Like, what?
And that now he's simping. So Jolly's on this covert secret mission. Keep going, JT, because I'm gonna
go. You got it. You're on the
right
track.
JT, he comes out of his fake sleeping over a picture of some other dude's wife out of principle, but he's going to jeopardize the whole mission for it. He's totally simping here, and he's mad. And you said it. He's not only just doing. He's mad because look, they do cuss words here in the little bubble in red. He doesn't say frack or this is Felder carb. No, they go straight on cuss symbols. That's it. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to jeopardize the whole mission for some old dude's one picture. And she's got clothes on and stuff, guys. It's still a comic book, right? It's not like it's a naked, dirty picture. It's just a nice picture of her.
It wasn't even, it was like a portrait. It wasn't even like a pinup or anything sultry even.
Yeah. So he risks the whole thing over the picture and he cracks this guy, dude. Like
says it won't kill him. I'm like, bro, you just caved in the back of some dude's skull and you're saying it's not going to end him. Okay.
Yeah. And this goes back to where I was saying we were making fun of that Billy Jack kick. We know he can't do that, but I said Jolly's a big boy, and I'm gonna tell you, I wouldn't want to take a right across from the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not a slob. He's just hefty. He could probably play some rugby. You know what I'm saying? And but he and they say crack. He crushes this dude all for the picture. And then what do you think of the setup that he does?
He brained himself on a pipe. That's a great line.
But look at the pipe. Where did they put? Where does he get it? Where does he find a pipe with a hole in it?
I don't know.
No, dude. They're just making this shit up as they go along. You see what I'm saying?
This is not Battlestar Galactica at this point. This is just...
I'm telling you, the people who are doing this are just sitting there having fun for themselves, right? There's no thought process here ahead of time, like we give them credit for it.
Even the line where the three of them are there, where the two of them are helping him.
Yeah.
And he's stumbling over himself the way he's walking, all weird. Oh, the floor, it came up and hit me.
Oh, brother, look at his feet, though. I got to give him credit. I like how he's kind of like, oh. I mean, I laughed my ass off this. I mean, it's completely out of bounds, right? It has nothing to do with the anything. Jolly's he's risking getting caught by these guys or shot, right, JT? I mean, these guys could just blast him and kill him, right? They could just say, oh my God, you know? So, but I like how they drew this guy's feet like, oh, he's all spaghetti legs, rubber, you know?
Yeah.
Like a boxer. You ever see when they get
right. Like, oh. Yeah, when they get knocked out. Yeah.
So I was really liking that, at least for the humor part of it. But the story is like, what are you doing? The hole in the pipe was out of bounds. The nose plugs are out of bounds. Him risking everything. And then he just dives into a pipe to go. what? He's going to crawl around the ventilation system like a xenomorph alien or
He
something?
knows, yeah, he's going to hop into the Jeffries tubes and somehow beat them there faster than them walking directly there themselves.
Yeah, Phantom's defending Jolly for doing that, and I'm with you. He has character, right? So I'll go with what Phantom, and then Lady V is also talking about. I missed that one. Sorry, Lady. That Phantom is saying, yeah, that's pretty low. It's low, but I don't know if it's low enough to risk the mission with all these guys there right then. You know, I would have said, oh, I'm going to get these guys if they take that, they steal that. They pulled it off, so it's okay. You know what, right, JT? They pulled it off, and they did it where I was laughing. It was great on the humor side, and it does show some moral character for Jolly, right? You know, he stood up for that old dude, so you do get that, and so that's awesome. But him being that big, I mean, that's got to be a pretty big ventilation system, and I imagine they probably would be, so it's okay. But we get your favorite character of all time,
who, by the way, right now, folks, in episode 14, he received a dose of radiation so deadly that it took out a robotic dog,
melted, and some of it
partially melted a robotic
Indiana Jones
dog.
face melt stuff.
Yeah. And just so you know, humans will receive a lethal dose of radiation well before your average computer system will start to physically melt. I'm just pointing that out. Yet,
Lady B, Lady B. Yeah.
This child is completely fine, almost like radiation has zero effect. When really the skin should just be falling off from all the radiation at this point, right? Like
we saw him and we saw him in another issue after that immediately he's fine. He was running around Adama's room, remember?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah,
and he would have so much radiation on him, he'd be radiating other people.
He wouldn't be there, dude. If not, he'd be in the life tube in the doctor's place in those tubes. He wouldn't even be walking around he wouldn't even have any air, face, or anything. And I'm not talking about from prolonged exposure. He was there. Well, I meant, like years of exposure. I'm talking about he was there long enough, like you said, JT, to melt fabricated hair and pieces of metal. So if everybody doesn't know, Boxy's a superhero.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Then he's saying, I want to go along and fly a Viper. I want to go look for Cylons too.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I won't be any trouble.
Well, I mean, they'd let him run around a whole military ship on his own anyway. Right?
Yes.
We've seen him do that many times. But this is where it gets very interesting.
This is stupid. There's nothing else I can say than that.
I can't believe it, dude.
She's like a senior officer on this military ship. This is
Lieutenant Athena, everybody, right? Because brown hair, right?
And okay, so she's maybe not a senior officer, but she's an officer of the military wing. That's the only thing keeping this fleet from getting just blowed up by Cylons. Okay. I'm going to go take you to school. And not only that, I'm just not going to be flying this Viper anymore because I have to teach. Now, I'm not saying that teaching is not a good profession or a noble profession, anything like that. But you would, in this situation, you would never take this highly scarce commodity of a Viper pilot and put them in the school. You wouldn't.
No,
you would. There's somebody, and I would dare say there's somebody more qualified than her to teach the kids too.
Well, this is where they
an actual teacher.
This is the fallback. Remember, they needed pilots, right? When they were actually desperate for pilots. I mean,
they still are.
Pilots, they still are. It gets brought up. It gets brought up in the letter in the issue. I might have missed it. It might have been the other one, but I'm trying to remember to talk about that at the end. But this is what I found absolutely hysterical. Again, they're making out. Starbuck and Athena are making out. But didn't we just talk about something else a minute ago? And then he tells it right to her face. Think about it for just a second. Where is Starbuck going? Remember? Look at the second one here, or this bottom one.
He's going to the Rising Star.
But with who? Remember?
No, he's got a date with a few hundred cubits
and
in a hot game.
Cassiopeia. He's supposed to be going with Cassiopeia.
Yeah. So why are they smooching? Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
Am I right? Right?
You know, you are on. You are spot on.
I wrote it down. I think I wrote it down. I wrote it right here. Right here. Starbuck love triangle. That was from the cover. So there's a love triangle. Now, here's the thing I want to have a problem. Remember that one time, I think it was 2 issues or the double feature we did last week, you said you thought Apollo might actually get mad at Starbuck for taking a shot about Athena. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's getting kind of like, I know he respects his sister, but if sooner or later you kind of get to thinking that maybe Apollo's going to have to say something to Starbuck about this kind of crap right here. Right? And then tell Athena, you need to either make him put a ring on it or let it go. You know what I mean?
But and then the stupid kid here in the bottom corner says, I bet he's got a date with Cassiopeia. He was wearing cologne.
He threw his uncle under the bus.
What the hell?
He just threw him under the bus. And then she goes, you know, Boxy, you're going to more than you know more than you ought to, or something like that. I couldn't even really understand that part. And you'll make the mistake of telling it. Is she just threatening him or just trying to give him advice? Because it looks like she's really mad now.
Right?
The art, the coloring is really bad here, right? There's bleeding. There's white.
Can we just get this out of our comic, please?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my point, right? What's it doing in here? But Starbuck he's a player. I said it earlier. He's the player, not Jolly. So meanwhile, Jolly has made a discovery. He finds a gas canister, right? An empty one.
Right.
So he keeps it as evidence. And then he finds because he's going through the air ducts, right? So they are huge air ducts, right? They did manage to make sure that it was okay that Jolly was going through there, right? Without body shaming. And then he sees these pirates loading up stuff. But it's kind of interesting because what did they say about the air ducts here?
That there's somebody working with the pirates. He infers that somebody must be working with them.
Okay, yeah. And then
it logically didn't really make sense, but yes, that's what he said.
Yeah, and that's right here in front of me. Heavy duty military issue. That's what I was
from Leo.
From Leo. What's the Leo?
One of the colonies.
Is that the colony? Leo?
Yeah.
Okay,
Leo is did I go robotic again?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Do you want
Leo is a constellation. I'm gonna go backstage real quick and just let me in about 5 seconds.
Okay. All right, everybody. JT is going to try to fix the mic. All right, you there? Are you there, JT? Uh-oh. We might have lost him. I mean, he might have to back out again. Try backing out again, JT. We can't hear you. I'm just trying to give him some hand signals. I could write it in the chat.
How about that?
There we go.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's StreamYards. I'm sorry, folks. There's nothing I can do about it. Boy.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Fanti says Athena and Cassie are being practical because, as far as they know, they're the last humans. Yeah, I guess if it got really, really bad, he would wind up with both of them, right? For breeding. Somebody said breeding purposes. Was that Lady V? Or
Yes.
But yeah, so these guys are really geared up. There's quite a few of them. They're loading up a lot of food stuff, right? And Jolly's pretty much at a loss as how they're getting away with this. He doesn't know how they don't have. He can't see that there's a ship out there, but he mentions it's an airlock and not some kind of other kind of freight lock. He says the cargo is going through an airlock instead of the freight lock. So he's kind of catching on to maybe it's an inside job or something. Then we're back to the boomer thing in the wall, which is
in the wall.
Yeah,
whatever.
So weird.
And of course, he has to do this. They don't have this wall of technicians. They can't peel one off. Okay.
Well, from what I thought of, that Boomer is Jolly's backup for some reason, and he's trying to stay in connection with him, but he has to go to here to do it. I thought that they had already had a setup where Boomer was just going to be hanging around outside in the little shuttle or something.
Yeah.
I got a little confused about all of that. So I guess he's just doing that to keep up with where Jolly is so he can hear what's going on or something. But Jolly apparently is taking the time to, he's staying on point, but he's also getting a little feely for Legia.
Yes, he is.
So he tells Boomer to run a check on her, find out if he knows anything about her, because he thinks he knows her from somewhere. Right.
He also says she reminds him of Starbuck. And what's funny is Boomer says, well, that's a terrible thing to say about anyone.
Not Starbucks. Yeah. Well, he says, are you a little gun shy? What does that mean, JT? Maybe the chat can help.
They make pills for that now. I know they didn't exist back then, but
yeah. So Boomer's making a direct and a veiled reference to what I was talking about, that Jolly might need some company. You know, he's a dude. He likes the ladies, and he might be a little lonely too, you know? So Boomer kind of vilifies me on this and says, aren't you just a little gun shy? I'm like, yes, I was right. Maybe because he thinks that Jolly's like, you know, you kind of like the girl. Ain't nothing wrong with it, bro. You know, basically he's telling her, but they're also staying on mission, and he's going to run a background check on her. And what's he find out? Dun, dun, dun.
That it's Medea, Sayuri's old main squeeze, right?
Wow. So, yeah, I did not see that coming.
Nope.
I was like, oh wow, holy geez. So she would have known who Jolly was, right? She just doesn't remember. She never met him before, maybe. All those interactions they had, she never saw Jolly. I mean, it's possible, right? He seems to have remembered her, and Boomer dropped the boom. I can't believe it. I'll bet she's the inside man. What a sucker I've been. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But you kind of knew, right? He mentioned that I'm kind of leery about her a couple times, I think. But he's mad at himself for even getting that little feely thing seeping in while he's on mission, right? He caught on to his own self there. That's okay.
Okay.
Human after all.
Meanwhile, they're trying to offload the kid and everybody over to the Rising Star before they go over to the other ship for the teaching and all that stuff. So they're sitting here on the shuttle. Apparently fighter pilots are a pretty blasé lot.
Yeah, it's Apollo, though. You know, I don't think so, but he does.
Yeah.
Starbuck calls him out for it. A little bit, anyway. He says, "Yeah," and he never takes his uniform off. And I'm trying to think, have we ever seen Apollo in different clothes? I can't remember.
Yeah. And then a cargo drone flies by.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh,
Big
what
deal.
was that?" Who cares? Yeah. And then Starbuck makes reference to cigars, and Cassiopeia makes a joke that he smokes trash, basically recycled band-aids and surgical tubing. But he makes a shot back at her.
Mm-hmm.
Then get some kind
And
of
this
weird
is
art.
unfortunately before Bill Clinton, because otherwise you'd get a reference about cigars that you don't see. Anyway, let's see here. So now they're on the Rising Star, right?
Yeah, they're on the Rising Star. Really, here we go with the glowing people again. That's a callback to way back.
In the Rising Star used to be Sire Yuri's ship.
Yeah, that's where he was running his operation out of. And this is also the one, wasn't everybody starving on below?
Yes.
So all these people have all this money, but we never go back. There's never a callback to those people. I guess, got to move the story along, other stories, but you're on the ship and you never, you never go back to the people underneath it, because all these people with money here, right? Which Apollo talks about. Starbucks gambling, cool. So Cassiopeia is talking to Apollo, and she mentioned something about all these millionaires. I was a little lost here. I didn't catch on to it. Did you? Did you catch on to it about the millionaire thing?
I read past it. I did not put a lot in on it.
Yeah, she says something. Apollo just loses it, takes off. Oh wow, light bulb type moment. And then we go back to Jolly. He says he's going to stash the gas cylinder, but too late. He gets caught again because the old dude told on him. And after Jolly went out of his way to help the old guy out, and look at Jolly's face this time, he's like, "Dude, really? You a-hole. You have no idea what I did for you." And there you go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the old guy was going to rat on him anyway, probably for the most part, because he always thought he was a thief or something. I don't know. He's just a cranky old fart. And he had no idea that Jolly went out of the way to help him out anyway, because he was passed out. So they catch Jolly with the gas thing, and the guy sniffs it.
Of course.
Boom.
Boom.
I don't smell anything. What do you? No security safety protocols. What is this? Some kind of canister? Yeah, let me just smell it. Let me open it up or something. Oh my god, dude! Now they're like knockout gas.
And then his face is drawn terribly.
Yeah, this is a weird face here, and he's got his reverse Spock hand going on.
Yeah.
Right. So they all definitely think he's a pirate now because he got caught with a gas canister. And we're gonna put you away.
And she gives him a massive smooch.
Yeah, she sneaks one in on him.
There's no sneaking. Come on, lady.
Well,
we ain't got all day.
Yeah. She just jumps in front of all these guys with guns pointed at Jolly to kiss him. Okay. Look at his eyes. Like, what the? At this point, he's like, what is going on with it? Because he knows who she is now. Right? She doesn't know that he knows, but we know that he does. ridiculous. And they're like, come on, lady, we ain't got all day. Okay. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I mean, maybe I'm just in a goofy mood about it, but
So what? Yeah,
they strip him.
So now he's sitting in there looking like, some kind of Hulk Hogan in the first one. Then the very next one, he looks like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, he's in his underwear, wrap or whatever, saran wrap, green saran
right?
wrap.
Like if you scroll up and you look at the first behind bars picture,
yeah,
he looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he looks jacked there. That's not Jolly. I mean, Jolly's probably got big arms, but he's not.
Yeah,
he's not fit like that.
And then right in the very next one, he's you scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, when he's doing the reverse Vulcan.
Well, yeah, no, but
fat.
I'm saying scroll down, but
and
then
go down
you can
here.
even see it right there.
Yeah,
like
Phantom. Yeah, so yeah, Lady V and them are having a good time with this because they're like, what? So they strip him all the way down, but they don't check his underwear,
or his hair knot.
Yeah, or his hair knot. See, they're not good at their jobs with this kind of stuff, are they? So he's hiding a, what did he call it? A micro circuited. Oh, the cord of my top knot is micro circuited.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's talking. So it's okay, I get it now. He's actually talking to Boomer through his hair knot.
Yes.
Okay. And Boomer's on the this. Okay, now look at how big this wall is. This is kind of ridiculous at this point, right? I have to scroll up and down because it's the whole page. So here's the top of it on the right, everybody, right? Boomer, this is Jolly. He's telling him that he's in the brig. He got locked up. And Boomer's like floating on this wall way up here. And look how big this damn wall is, dude. Why is Boomer way up? It's just, what is going on?
Yeah.
And this dude's got his leg hanging over. He's just hanging out right here underneath. See this dude here in the blue?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's just swinging over the side. Look how far up he's
got some gas, He's just trying to. He's just working on it. That's all.
It's so. I have no. All right, the wall. Can't go north of the wall. All right. So Jolly's telling him I got locked up. But he's going to break out of jail because he's already came up with a plan. And he's telling him, just get ready to, pick me up. Cool. Boomer's like, cool. All right, man.
And folks, if you are sensitive to the body shaming, avert your eyes, for lo and behold, we have an insult, a slur made against somebody based on their physical appearance.
Yeah. Pretty brutal, really. Right? I mean, if you think about it, it's a pretty brutal insult.
Yeah. I mean, I'm overweight. I don't care. I laugh.
Listen, man.
I laughed.
At this point, for this issue, I'm telling you, those writers are just sitting there going to town. Anywhere they could put something in, they were either having fun with this, or they were drinking or high or whatever, or they know it's their last day or something at work. You know what I mean? They putting in these type of things for this particular issue. Just like the whole knockout gas thing earlier with the guard and this right here. So I'm not even gonna. I'll read it. I'm not monetized, so I'll say it. They put it in here. Hey, you better believe it. Hey, fatty, watch this. And I'm like, whoa, dude, not cool. I like Jolly. We're making fun of him only because of the art. I mean, they've got him big, and then they've got him muscle bound, and then he turns and calls him fatty. I'm like, what the hell, man? But the guy's a real jerk, right? And then he also makes reference that he's going to rough him up. But look how skinny he is.
Yeah.
Dude, Jolly would beat your ass in a heartbeat. Right?
Oh, yeah.
This dude would have no chance against Jolly. None. And he's just talking all this smack, gets really insulting. And Medea lays him out. Oh, that's right, with the lip gloss.
Diphalamine lip gloss, handsome. It stops wolves.
Okay. Wolves?
Well,
right.
I don't know how many wolves you're kissing, but
yeah,
okay.
I guess on Virgo there's a lot of wolves. I guess maybe is that a veiled reference to men being wolfy?
Who knows?
Wolfhounds?
Who knows?
I mean, of all the animals, you would just make something up, like some giant, I don't know, something from some planet. You know what I mean? That nobody knows. It's just obviously you made up some kind of crazy animal, right? Alien animal. But I'm thinking she's making a veiled reference to what her job used. Well, it's Medea, but you know what I mean. Everybody knows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Jolly's still standing there now. He's got his green undies on and his radio hair. Oh boy. So she's like, "Don't worry, I know an empty storage container where you can." But Jolly, look at his face here. He's not buying any of this crap, is he, JT?
Oh, he's like, this is too damn convenient.
Yeah, he's thinking ahead now as well, right? He's really thinking spy game type crap stuff. So, oh, this is what you want me to do. You want me to run off so they can catch me and really give it to me. But she does what? Here. She gives him the crocodile tears. Oh. Right?
Right.
And damn it, Jolly, he's fallen for it. Even if she is real, he can't afford to believe it, right? He's still on mission. So she's giving him, she tells him, I'm Medea. So she fesses up, which he falls for that. Or he thinks it's kind of cool that she's doing that. And then you get to see how big Jolly really is. He's not that big, is he?
No, he's not.
Jeez.
And
Look
she's not
cute.
that small either.
Yeah, but she's got a good. Never she doesn't this leg day either, does she?
No, she does not. But,
sorry, dude.
There's no way this dude would fit into a Viper.
Yeah, and the Lady V says, "Are you?" She goes, "The thickness. Are you talking about Jolly? Or are you talking about Medea there?" I could make a case of saying something's thick, both, right?
We can see the picture. Yeah, well.
But this is ridiculous, though, man. Look how huge he is. So that guy is going to rough him up.
Well, this guy. Well, also, how the hell? What kind of feet does he have?
Huge, gigantic.
No, but they're like nobody has feet that look like that.
They're as big as her chest. I mean,
I know, but I'm saying, look at those feet. Like nobody has feet that look like that.
No, and they're gonna remember how they tried to defend the people. There was a letter. Remember, they talked about fitting into the Viper. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. And
they actually called out
excuse.
So last week, gave all the credit for JT in the chat for calling out the fact that when Enoch was the 8 man, he just jumped into the pilot's seat and took off. The 8 guys are about this big, right? Because Apollo was fighting, maybe even smaller than Jolly. He's 450 pounds here. Jeez. Anyway, let's move on. But she uses the excuse that, it's so dull out here. When I realized what you were, I thought it would be fun to tease you. But you're serious, aren't you? And it's like, okay, Jolly, come 100% full circle on this. If you like her, deal with it later. Right now, don't be trying to fall for any of this.
Tell her that.
Yeah.
He turns her away from a kiss, and he's smart because, yeah.
Well, she's got the stuff on her lips, right?
Yes, exactly. And then she's oh, I forgot. Like,
Really? At this point, I was like, Medea, what are you doing? Well, she's got a plan. empty storage bin, but he's like, yeah, we're going to make a switch. The guard comes to find me gone. But he goes with it, and she does get him out. So there you go. He's still got the feet for her, right? Because she's like, "Well, see you again," and he's simping hard now. JT, he's simping hard because she did lead him to an escape route, but try and stop.
He gets out looking like Superman.
Here we go. Where's his space pack? Where did he get this? Did she have that?
I don't even.
It doesn't. I thought Boomer could have been out there to dock, and then he jumps on the ship and they take off. That would have made more sense, right? He's got his hairpiece. Boomer, I'm over here. Can you read me? Yeah, I got you. Pull up. I'm gonna jump out this airlock. Okay, man, I got you, buddy. Yeah. This is
Lady
they
V,
do
I
these
don't
crazy.
See him. I don't see her being masculine.
Who?
Lady V says, to be fair, she is a bit masculine for a woman. I don't see that.
Oh, I missed that. I don't know, Lady V.
I don't know.
Well, she's rough and tough, but she's all in on him. But
the one face shot where she looks like a linebacker. Yeah.
Okay, now I get it, Lady. The way you say it, JT, I understand where she's coming from. Okay, yeah. I missed that one. Not like that Apollo shot. Remember that Greek mythology on steroid shot a couple of issues ago? That shot of his face with his neck like this. It's like, what do you? I don't get it. So the thought process here, man, do they just? JT, it's like they do all these good things, and what do we always say? They always try. Last week was pretty good. We got an A in one of the issues. But this kind of thing right here, she leads him to safety. He appreciates it. So now he's okay. Maybe he thinks that she's not all that bad, but it's Medea, dude. He knows this. So they have him simping for her at the end because she got him out. He's got all his. Oh, dude. Okay, this is what I found. So he's running with his boots on, right?
Yep.
But he's sitting here putting his boots on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I finally caught that. I knew there was something else that I wanted to nitpick about, but I'm going to just say your continuity and keeping up with what you guys are doing here sucks.
Also, it's kind of this thought bubble in the middle. I'm so jittery I can hardly stretch the flexiskin in my costume.
Costume? Oh yeah, he calls it a flex. But he's already dressed.
But read it again. I'm so jittery I can hardly stretch the flexiskin in my costume. That's after hanging out with her.
Yes.
You get what I'm implying there, I think.
Yeah, he's totally something for her just because she let him out. And he's completely forgetting about who she is. Like everything is forgiven just because of that. Dude, you're doing the spy game here. You can't do that, right? And he, like you said, he flies out of this airlock with. But so we get a cliffhanger with Boomer? Where's Boomer?
Yes. No, this is the cliffhanger.
Okay, so he just jumps out of the ship with nothing but a helmet that he apparently got somewhere, and he was already dressed, but he's dressed.
Don't try this at home because the fleet was moving.
Yes.
So even at the relative speed that you had of whatever that ship was, you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So the letters weren't all that.
No, basically there weren't any that I really wanted to bring up.
Yeah, some nice, some complaining. Most people nice. Some people like certain ones. Some people didn't like. Because everything got better, a little bit better after 14. Not great, but the last week was pretty good for what they were. You know what I mean? I was trying to remember if there's anything that you and I had talked about. I mean, most of it is, right? Some of the things you brought up, they bring up. Nothing.
No.
Yeah, I think they made an apology to one of the guys who wrote in a letter, but it was nothing important to everybody. So we're left on this cliffhanger with some craziness at the end to kind of ruin, the continuity, the thought process. All that last
We are
scene
indeed.
was just terrible on my part of it. And Phantom says he has a large viper going back. I like what you did there. That's funny, dude. We were talking about how big he was, couldn't fit in the ship.
Yeah.
I like that. That's funny. And Lady V had a great square jaws are for dudes.
Yep.
Yeah, so she called it out. And that goes to a lot of the things we say. They have great art. I mean, A+++ for the Jolly with the eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what do we say? That they always try to find a way to ruin it.
Yes,
And
indeed.
more apt than not, they do. It's just I had a great time with this one though, because I was laughing at the things they were doing. And to repeat myself over and over again, I just can kind of see those guys writing this, having fun with some of the stuff they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just kind of, hey man, watch what I do. But I mean, what did you think about that whole, he's running around with his suit on, then he's putting his suit on. That's just brain fart, right?
Yeah.
I don't know who looks at that and says, what are you doing here? This doesn't make sense. Again, we always, complete the wall. The wall is that I don't know. It's just complete. Doesn't even seem like it should be anywhere in this type of thing. How big it is. I mean, that shot looked bigger than the size of the height of the Battlestar, right?
Right. And why
mean,
is
or
there
at
that
least-
much dead space in the ship that you
Comm
used
center.
it for that purpose?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a huge comm center, obviously, for a deep space military vehicle, right? It would be absolutely huge, but it wouldn't be Dune type stuff. It wouldn't be like some different kind of thing. I don't know where they came up with that wall, but anyway. So, all right, man. What do you think?
Okay,
so let me flash these just to reiterate. We had Rez,
Sure.
the alien Q creature from 21, and Athena. This was Athena's issue, basically, right?
Yes, it was.
This was hers. What do you?
So
what are
for
your comments?
that issue, I really love it. There's some problems I have, mostly centered around the animation. Not the animation, but the artwork had some deficiencies in a couple spots. But I did love the story from beginning to end. It was cool, sci-fi. It helped get an Athena story into the lineup and did something that didn't really mess up any other plot or the overarching plot of the story. I give that one an A+. It is one of my top 3, maybe top 4 issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Yeah, I liked it. I'm probably going to give it an A. I like the new character type person. He was all over the place, from creepy to kind of. Then you kind of understood that he was just lonely.
Yes.
He didn't have any relationship skills, especially with human women, right? I think maybe a teenager or something, first date, first type of thing, can relate to that kind of thing. Maybe even some grown men.
Yeah. And it almost felt like kind of like a Star Trek episode in a way, where the antagonist, or the apparent antagonist or villain, is not that at the very end. And so you get a conclusion where no one's really the enemy, or the bad one in that case. So for that, I just really liked it. And a lot of the, what was it, like the melting or the shimmering of the planet when he got hit.
Yeah, I like that.
With that was pretty cool. Some nice touches in there. Yeah, continuity was not perfect, as you pointed out, but hey.
Yeah, well, compared to this one, continuity on this one was not bad, right? I mean, you can't keep up with everything, but we just point out some of the really blatant ones, like the end of this one with the boots. That was just what? That was like a panel. It's right there. He's running around, you know what I mean? But to stick to this one, the whole Rez character was good because it was deep. He was sort of creepy, then he was creepy, right? But when you read on, it wasn't creepy in the sense that he was being creepy. He just doesn't have that skill set of dealing with people, right? He wanted to bring her, he liked her, so he had those kind of feelings, right? He tried to dine her, you know what I mean? Wine and dine her, try to make her feel comfortable. And when he realized that didn't work, then you really got a sense of what kind of character this thing was. And you almost felt bad for him if you read into the fact that all that kind of creepy stuff wasn't really meant like that. Like when I made the dress, when he undressed her and put the other dress on, you said, oh, really look into it. But then he made the moves on her. Then you're like, oh, but then we find out more about him, so A+ for this one too. The art,
yeah.
It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. Right? Is this
Right.
the one we got the good Battlestar Galactica is in?
Yes.
It was this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So you get the really good Galacticas on the two shots, actually. So you get that. And then not too bad, right? So then we go to your favorite cover. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not good. Not good, not a good cover at all. Just crazy Billy Jack. When I say Billy Jack kick, blaster,
Yeah.
terrible.
That's
no bueno.
I give this issue a D. Look, it might have been competently done for what it was, but what it was not Battlestar Galactica. And
No.
so you want to write this? Okay, go ahead. It was almost like they were drunk when they wrote this and they got away with it.
They got away with it. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that, man.
I think you could cut this issue out and it really almost wouldn't matter. It gets to be just a farce, just a complete farce. I mean, the art was competently well done enough. It
just the
wasn't
jolly faces.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget the size, the size thing.
Yeah. It's not quite as insulting as issue 14, which I gave like the F-. So yeah, it's not the worst one of the bunch, but man, it was not befitting of the title. What the heck are they doing?
No, there's a lot of things good, like Phantom touched on. I do want to give one credit here that the Medea character did confess, even though he knew. Like I said before, she didn't know that he knew. So you do give her props for that. And she did help him escape, but at that point, it's kind of like you still can't trust her. I mean, you can't. Right. You can't be trying to have feelings for her. This is like no, because you know who she is. Yeah, she helped you get out. You got to be grateful for that. But as far as the spy stuff going on, he's gonna have to learn. But yeah, she did confess, but it's kind of like for me. I did give her credit for it, but then I'm also going to say, let me be a little careful about that because we don't know what's going on still, because there is one more issue, and it's going to wrap up this storyline. But I agree with you. About a quarter of this was the only good. The story, the spy stuff, the rest. I thought they touched on the love triangle thing between Athena and Cassiopeia and Starbuck, and then didn't Boxy rats him out oh wow, okay, where did that come from? You know what I mean? So if they're gonna say it's right on the cover, can this be a love story? But are they talking about Jolly and Medea? Because Medea's not even on the cover, right? Because this was a lot about her. Like Phantom saying, he brought her up, and Lady V brought her up a lot of times in the chat. So they don't even bring her up, but she's the mainstay of the comic, really, because she's a central figure in it besides Jolly. And I'm like with you, only about a quarter of it was worth anything. The art was only really, really good with the facial expressions. I mean, that was top notch, but then they just trashed it at the end. It was just ridiculous, kind of crazy. I'm all in like you about these guys. It just seemed to me that they were just having fun in the writing studio and the art, and a couple of the people were just sitting there together, like, let's just do this, see what happens. And they were having fun with it. That doesn't make it a good grade, but for me personally, I thought it was funny. So I guess I give it a maybe not an, I don't want to say an F. You know how I am about grades when it comes to, if it's an A, it's an A, right?
Yes.
But it's no better than a D. And they only get that because of
it's true.
The facial things with Jolly, the humor, whether I don't know if I should say that it's misplaced, it made me laugh. So I guess I give them good props for that, right? But is it really part of what the story is, or I'm just laughing because I think those guys are getting a joke out of it? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if I'm expressing myself the right way there, because if I like the funny part, I should give it a better grade. But I'm also kind of thinking there's just this weird feeling that you and I have that they were kind of just messing around, but it worked. I mean, I laughed, so I'll get a D plus, maybe only because of the Jolly art. But then again,
that's fair enough.
The ending is just bad. The art, putting on the boots, just a bunch of different things. So that's about it for me on this one. It wasn't, could have done the storyline like you said. You want to miss the whole issue, right? You just don't even need it. I'm thinking maybe just a quarter of the undercover stuff with Jolly.
Right.
A lot of that didn't make any sense at all, right? You know, the gas, don't forget the gas, the nose plugs, but he's still breathing through his mouth. I mean, that's a whole letter grade, because that makes no sense whether you call it nitpicking or not. That makes no sense. And even the chat called that out. They're like, what the hell? How's he still breathing? I mean, he's still there. And then you said it, and I was like, yeah. So those are the things that we love and hate about this series. And for everybody here still hanging out, I'm not sure if she said thank you. I don't know if she still left or not, but
she's still here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Phantom, thank you so much as always. Keep in mind, I am not doing the last issue. One more issue, everybody. And what is Phantom? I thought Phantom. Yeah. That's an excellent point, Phantom. That back then she did do that. And they could have brought that up, because I forgot, and I want to thank you for saying that. So so maybe I won't be as hard on her now that you helped me remember that. But I don't know. It's just she was all over Jolly, right? I mean, wow. You know, just trying to make out with him all the time. Maybe she's lonely too. Right? I won't nitpick on that part of it. I don't know much about it, but yeah, Phantom's right. I kind of forgot about that, but I think she kind of forced into that. You know, they had to go find her and bring her there. But I will give her credit for not clamming up, because I remember saying that, right, JT? She didn't clam up like the other guy did. So she gets credit for that. But with this storyline, I don't know what her deal is on this. So I'm just saying, if you're doing spy stuff, you don't trust anybody, right?
Right.
You know, so, but we'll find out later, won't we? One issue left in 2 weeks.
Hopefully we find out. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, we hope. Right. I've got to go back and reread it. So we do get a little bit of a wrap up with Jolly to let everybody know. So 2 weeks. I might do something next week. Who knows? You know, any day of the week because I know I'm not doing this. So, but it won't be this one, and we'll wrap it up in 2 weeks. You want to plug some channels?
Yeah. I do not know when I will be on with Dadman next. However, it will be in the near future. And looks like this Friday, I hope to be on again. Late night Fortnite, Mark T with the C.
Yeah, I hope to make that
48 hours from now. So, and I'll probably see you there, Dave. So, I hope that everybody listening will head on over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a quicker way to link people's channels. What I have to do is go find another tab, right?
Yeah,
open up
that's
the
way you have to
YouTube.
go.
You have to do all of that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So Gap actually has a channel. Phantom, I was saying, if you want to, I don't know if you do, I thought you did too. Anybody who has a channel here tonight, like Brian Hepburn, anybody, you guys, you can feel free to plug. Anybody else will deal with it as it comes along, right, JT? But everybody here is feel free to plug their channels. So there's Gap. I guess it went through on that side. Yeah, it went through. So yeah, I was trying to figure out, JT, how quick you do that, but you were already pulling up people's names, right? So but I've got so many followers that I mean, not followers, sorry. I'm subscribed to so many people that the YouTube side on here doesn't do it alphabetical order.
Yeah, you just have to search the name of the channel. That's faster.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, unless it's right at the top there, I just type it in.
Mm-hmm.
So Mark D with a C, Friday night. You've got Admiral Teague Saturday this week or not?
Oh yes, I do. I forgot about that. Yes, thank you for reminding me. This Saturday,
sure.
We're continuing our trek through Star Trek Enterprise season number 1. We're 20 some episodes in, so you don't want to miss the next one. And don't worry about watching it. We watch the episode together, so it's always a fun time. I love it.
Yeah, Phantom, I will do Mrs. Dadman, or Mark, can you beat me to that one? I am subbed, so if I see it on the list really quickly, I could throw Dadman and Mrs. Dadman. I got no problem with throwing their stuff out there. I can't find it that quickly. So what do you do? Just type it in the search, Mrs. Dadman? Let's see how fast I can do this, because you're doing it behind the scenes while we're talking, right?
Mm-hmm. Usually, yeah.
There it is, Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. I am subscribed, but let me click on her channel to get the link. Oh, come on. She got so much stuff here. Where's the... There it is. Oop, nope, I don't want all of that. So you have to do this every time I ask you to put it in?
Unless you've got them saved on a notepad somewhere. Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do. Do it on a Word copy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just pull it up, and then you can go directly through there. Just preset that. Yeah, I need to do that next time. So let's see if no problem, Fanny. Thank you for being here. You and Lady V, and I know Gap was here for a while. Even Putin's cat stopped in. And I think maybe one or other 2 people I thought might have been lurking. Did that go through? Yeah, went through. All right, guys. I think that's about it. JT, 2 hours and 43. We really spread it out this tonight. I wanted to go kind of a little bit longer because we're going to be gone for 2 weeks and then only have one left. So really wanted to hit these kind of nicely. Job well done as always, brother.
Sure. Oh, you as well. You as well.
Yeah, and in the chat, awesome. Lady V, Phantom, Gap, Dadman, Putin. And as always, anybody else I missed, I'm sorry, but thank you for being here. And keep an eye out for JT this weekend, Friday night with Mark. You might be on with Dadman, maybe sometime during the day. Mm-hmm. I know Nick has his Friday night comics Clobby show. Saturday, Admiral Teague with you. Mark D, Sunday Geekery. And then we'll move on from there. And who knows what I'll do. I'll post it on X and stuff. So with that, I will say goodnight and thank you so much as always. Take care.